After meeting her husband in Australia in 2004, she moved to England to reside with him. They were traveling Europe and 2 years ago decided to relocate back to Des Moines. They sold everything they own on eBay to take a 4-month adventure through Asia and Australia. Sarah is a realtor with Prudential First Realty and lives with her husband and a 10-month-old daughter in Beaverdale. Please welcome Sarah.
Traveling the world is something most people dream of doing. But unless you have a complete unlimited budget, most of us have to be creative, thrifty, and have the willingness to leave a life of luxury behind. I'm certainly no expert, but hopefully I can give you a few tips and advice to make this dream become a reality on a complete shoestring budget. I recommend having a plan for when you get back. Don't do what my husband and I did, which was to sell everything we owned, go traveling for 4 months and back to Des Moines with no money, no jobs, owning nothing but the contents of our backpack, moving to our parents' basement in the middle of winter with 3 feet of snow in the ground during the middle of a recession. So have a plan, have some money in place. Once you're in Europe, it's a little bit more expensive of a region to conquer, but it can certainly be done. Most people think that buses and trains are the most economical way to get through, but actually keep in mind budget airlines. Ryanair offers free, if not free, cheap flights throughout all of Europe. Once you get those cheap flights, pack light. I once booked a flight to Dusseldorf, Germany for completely free. However, had I brought luggage, it would have cost me about $50. So wear layers, pack light, and you can get on the plane with nothing at all and not have to pay for your luggage. Accommodation is one of the more expensive things once you're in Europe. So keep in mind that the more people you have in your room, the cheaper it is. It's not uncommon to find dorm-style rooms that hold up to 28 people. If you can get used to that, it can save you a ton of money. If you want a private twosome, plan on paying triple, if not quadruple the price. Another great way for free, or if not free, very cheap accommodation is to go to couchsurfing.com, hospitalityclub.org, or freeloaders.com. This is an online network of people that has hundreds of thousands of members. You can go into their home, sleep on their couch for free. The only catch is that you must reciprocate the favor once you return home. Keep in mind the cost of the city. I booked a flight to Stockholm, Sweden when I was living in London for about $12. However, once we got there, we realized that Stockholm is one of the most expensive countries in the world. A pint of beer is about $18. So we had to choose between drinking or eating. We chose to drink, of course, so we ate from 7-Eleven and had a hot dog. Another great thing to do is plan your trip so that your destination gets you there overnight. So you can sleep on trains, sleep in bus stations, sleep in airports. It may be uncomfortable, and I actually took off a padded bra one time and used it as my pillow, but it worked great and it got me through the night. Avoid the tourist traps. They're typically really, really expensive, overpriced, and pretty boring, unless it's what you're dying to see. Avoid the tourist destinations altogether, and forget the souvenirs. I promise you, nobody will care that you did not bring home some cheesy souvenir from an overpriced gift shop. Also keep in mind the route of your destination. We wanted to include India and Sri Lanka when we left London to go traveling for 4 months, but it actually quadrupled the price of our flights. Southeast Asia caters to a lot of backpackers and a lot of travelers, so because of that, flights there are a lot less expensive. Once you're in Southeast Asia, unfortunately the best way to save money is to have a really strong stomach. Don't ever go to any restaurants and only eat from food vendors. The downside to this is that you may not know what you're eating, and even after you eat it, you probably still won't know what you're eating, but it's definitely worth it, and for me it was the highlight of my Asian experience. Once again, accommodation always is a big expense. Hostels are abundant throughout Southeast Asia, but keep in mind guest houses. For me, this is 100% the way to go. You can find families that are willing to rent out their rooms for the night or for a week, and not only is this a very cheap and economical way, it gives you an insight into their life. Do the unconventional. One of the best things that we did was we hired some locals to take us on a 600-kilometer bike ride through rural Cambodia. We slept in mosquito nets and saw the country in a way that most tourists never get to see. And when the locals make about $3 per day, they're happy to show you the country for a very small fee. When we were in Hanoi, we booked a bus ride. It was actually a 4-day bus ride that took us from Hanoi down to Ho Chi Minh City. We paid about $10 extra for the upgrade, which meant that we got a bed in our bus. Keep in mind there's also only one bathroom on this bus for 4 days, and we do not empty it at all, so don't drink and don't eat a lot. And then my favorite thing to do in not only Asia, but in everywhere in the world, is to just people watch. Grab a coffee, grab a beer, sit on a park bench or have a seat on the grass, and just soak up the culture, watch people's daily lives. For me, that's the best part. Australia is definitely a more expensive country to conquer on a budget. Because of its large space, it's very vast, it takes a lot of money to get you from place to place, but it can certainly be done. So don't exclude that from your travel plans. As we go on, it says that the East Coast is one of the most popular tourist destinations, and for very good reason. It has amazing beaches, excellent nightlife, awesome shopping, but you can spend a fortune traveling the East Coast. They have luxury hotels throughout the whole thing. They also have another side of it that caters to backpackers. So take advantage of these, group up with people. Getting to the outback is something that you should definitely include when you go to Australia. However, it's very expensive, about a $900 flight from Melbourne to Alice Springs. So we found an RV company that was willing, they actually needed to get this RV relocated to Alice Springs, so they paid us to do it, and also gave us a gas allowance. It took us about five days to get there, but it was well worth it. Keep in mind what is worth spending money on. We bought some travel books from street vendors in Southeast Asia, and they were stolen photocopied copies from about 2004 that had no maps, with notes and everything crossed out. So definitely buy your travel books here before you go. And I hope that if you take anything away from this presentation, you'll remember that you should never let money stop you from seeing the world. Because after all, travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer.